Before you start,
Previously, oh, I'm
never
sorry.
mind. Go ahead.
Yeah, previously in the GodBreaking, our group of adventurers, having somewhat stabilized their position and with the impending final clash between demons and basically mortality on this continent coming, you guys began to do some planning. You spent a lot of your time talking about possible scenarios, possible avenues of attack, strategies to deploy your forces, to command your allies into the fray. You kind of settled on a tentative plan that involved Robin opening a hole in the barrier at the top of the large barrier, Radthorn striking Malcontent, and you bringing the most powerful of yourselves and your allies inside to combat Malcontent, while the larger armies, distracted the demon hordes outside. Upon settling on that tentative plan, you guys worked together with Kildrak and went beneath the surface of Mistrala and pieced together the just enough arcane energy to match the balance, to balance out the force that was used to create the imprisonment barrier in the first place. And through your great efforts and through Kildrak's artfully dismantling what should have been an irreversible spell, you guys were able to break the imprisonment and release your allies from Estrala back into the land of the living. So Telephos has returned. Battlemaster Telephos. You've got Ava and a variety of your other allies and acquaintances and friends throughout the past couple of years. So they have returned and they begin to reestablish themselves. At this point, the greater majority, we could even call it the entirety of the forces of mankind, of the Dwarven Kingdom, of Mistrala, of the Dragonborn and the Goliaths and the High Elves have established their positions. They've all gathered into place, and you guys find yourself at the precipice of a full-scale battle. All right, what do you guys want to do?
So,
Oh, is this the next day or is this like same day after?
I think we
Uh,
ended as Telephos teleported us back up to the city.
Yeah, let's say let's say that some time has gone by on that, because that event that you guys did, it took you a while. We role played it through in like 20 minutes last week, but it was really a full day's work. You
Hmm.
guys breaking the barrier underneath the ground under Mistrala. So you guys went back and rested. The mages of Mistrala were understandably drained, and the last thing they saw was they were fleeing from the destruction of the dragons of their city. So they
All
took some
right.
time
So
to
for
rest and
them,
recover.
yeah. So for
Yeah.
them, they had just cast the spell.
Yep. Yep.
Good thing we
So
didn't
it
meet
take
him right away.
yeah, it takes a while for them to get caught up, brought up to speed, and to recuperate their energy, because they had to recover spell slots and stuff too. So everyone rests that evening, and the next day begins. Now, of course, you guys you find yourself within a large army encampment, literally tens of thousands, about 80,000 troops in total, around your base camp, and you guys are. Let's see, what were we drawing last time? I don't remember what we're drawing. You guys are hereish.
Our battle plan.
Yeah. So you guys are hereish on the map. Okay.
Okay.
So I mean, there's guards and sentries in place. There's perimeters. A wall has been set up. As you wake up the next morning, you wake to the sound of troops training, preparing equipment. You see large divisions of cavalry just trotting by on horseback, heading off in different directions. You hear sergeants barking out orders to keep their men in order. But you also see that's in the human area, but you also see fairly close by the entirety of basically the rest of the remaining dwarven population there. Every able-bodied adult, men and women, is present. All of them garbed and armored to prepare for war. Their armor and their weapons are gleaming in the sun, bright, the pinnacle of dwarven craftsmanship. They bring with them a lot of this technology that they had back in Cragland that was lost from when the dwarves wholescale fled from that nation. But since they've reunited with the survivors there, they were able to bring a lot of supplies. So the strength of the dwarven army is, of course, their berserkers with their battle axes, but equally as powerful is their large divisions of crossbowmen. The dwarven crossbows are quite powerful, capable of firing multiple bolts in a single volley. Um, you are and back in the communication camp of the of your base camp and the communication section. You find mages there casting spells and keeping in constant contact with the high elves who find themselves over the mountains of Ascaria. They are basically static in place over the mountains, waiting for a coordinated assault. And also with the Dragonborn and the Goliaths who have settled themselves right around here, this area on the map, getting ready to take over this small town of, I forget what that town was called. We named it something. Waithrock.
Yeah.
Waithrock. Getting ready to move on it. They're smaller in numbers, so they're able to disguise themselves and hide themselves amongst the plains and keep themselves mostly from from the prying eyes of the demon scouts. Okay, this is where you guys are.
And
You have allies
Hey,
all around you. Everyone is in full preparation mode. What do you guys want to do?
hey, Rinley.
mm,
Yeah, you want to get on your little magic stone doohickey thingy and tell all the little higher up boss man dudes to tell all their troops not to be shooting dragons because they don't want to die.
I feel like we've already mentioned this at the council meeting, especially with the dragons in the council.
Yeah, but none of the other army leaders were there except for the elf dude.
No, we had the whole army that I did the
Oh,
telepathic
did you?
communication with the
Oh,
whole
okay.
council.
Okay.
Yeah, by this time you
Okay, I
guys have
forgot about that.
communicated enough with everybody to everyone knows who is present. Off in their own like small clearing, you see the 8 dragons in their humanoid forms, all standing serenely together. Um, Even in their human forms, they move almost in formation, if that makes sense. They stand right now in like almost a perfect half circle. When they move, it's almost like they're flying. They've transferred. They don't even know, they're not even aware of the formations that they make as they move together.
They're like geese.
Sure, the flying V. At the front, of course, is the Finzor at the tip of the V.
Oh, you're the biggest birds ever.
I do spend some time, like during this prep time. I do try to get a feel for how, as we coordinate the forces and we get ready to move in on camps. How exactly are people getting close to it? Like, is everyone planning on like marching from Mistrala in full view of all the, scouts and demons?
That's a good question. I don't know if you guys have answered it.
I think we had settled on this battle plan. I think last time, correct me if I'm wrong, but the forces from Estrala were going to march up to meet the Goliaths and Dragonborn, I believe it was, at this town.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Um, the elves were going to come in. The army was going to basically assault the uh, the demon army to try to pull them away a little from Kance. We were going to basically, in some way, shape, or form, teleport up above the sphere, land on top of it, have Robin make a hole in it, jump in it. Once we did, the dragons were going to destroy the tower with the bombs. I think that Deimos was having made by what's her face.
Oh no, but how are we all getting to camps? Like, I know we the main contingent that's hitting the main uh barrier is gonna try and teleport in. I think we were there was a lot of discussion about that with the Mistrala mages, since there was like, it's like physicists at a party trying to be like, oh, how do we teleport clothes 1 foot to the left? But at the same time, they were discussing that. No idea if they figured it out. But
I
how
think
is
that was I think that was when we came up with the idea to just teleport above it and feather fall down to it.
no, no, that was their question. Like they realized it wasn't possible to really teleport into the area easily, and that was towards the end of last session. But how are the armies getting there?
Marching, I think, is what the plan was, because I think Midas said it was like a 2-day march for them if they start now,
Okay.
and they'll get there just after the Goliaths and the barbarians to the city, not to the city on the river, not to Kance.
Okay.
And then they would use the river as a kind of a helping hand to assault the demons, I think was what it was. And then you came up with the idea with Deimos, if I remember correctly, to have the dragons drop the bombs to try to destroy the tower. Oh, another thing. Once Robin opens the tower, Storm Lord, Storm Queen was gonna drop some pain down on the demon bitch, and then we jump in and kick her ass. Or try, anyway.
Okay.
Who knows? We might get lucky that the army marching out of Mistrala might draw them away anyway. They might come to meet the army from Mistrala somewhere in between here and Kance if we get lucky.
The only issue with the marching and the flying in over multiple days is when they spot the armies, reinforcements will arrive for them via the spire. So we need to get rid of that spire if possible. I don't know. What did the mages, come? What conclusion did they come to after their intense discussion about the thermodynamics and like location for teleportation and movement in that area?
So who are you talking to? Who are you asking?
Teleports and basically the mages who were discussing about the teleportation into that area, like they realized there were some issues with it. So I'm just trying to figure out, like, did they find out how we can actually get through without being discovered immediately?
Okay, are you gonna go ask them right now?
Yes.
Okay. So you guys walk over to a anyway, for lack of a better term, the command center. And there, amidst all the frantic hustle and bustle of commands and of communications coming back and forth and messages being sent and everything, that um, you find the key leaders of this army. So there amongst them is Darius, who's been named High Commander of all the human forces. You have Eloise, representing the dwarves. Um, you have this guy who managed to survive the trek across the plains with the remnants of his army, Ralphil, leader of Taswan, with a much diminished force of troops, but they're all mounted knights, is what he commands. You have, of course, Telephos. And via communication, you can be in touch with Lothrelian, with Danes, Vorik, and Bartimaeus as well. Okay, I think that's
Alrighty.
everybody. Okay, so
Cool,
you
cool,
walk in
cool.
and you see these commanders all there, surrounded by their contingents, by their escorts, um, in deliberation and beginning coordination of their troops and everything. So Renly, what are you doing?
I walk up and I raise my staff up to kind of get the attention since I think my head is lower than the table. Um, but I will raise the staff up and be like, "So, quick question. Um, did anyone figure out how we're gonna get to the barrier and stuff? Because if you're marching over there for multiple days, they're probably gonna get reinforcements for that from the spire. So I'm just trying to figure out: are we going to be able to get rid of the spire before we do the marching, or does this happen after and we're dealing with reinforcements too?
Okay. So at this point, several of the commanders are going to respond. So Darius first chimes in. He says, "Good morning, Renly.
Warning!
We've been deliberating this very thing. Our scouts, and now with the aid of the dragons, we have the advantage of the skies. Have been able to determine some information about this demon mass um, that is presented against us. What best that we can tell, he bends down and you can see a kind of a rough drawn map of the battlefield, right? He says, as best as we can tell, and he begins to scribble on the paper. If this is the barrier, right, the obelisk sits off to the side near it here in this direction. We are, of course, um, far, far to the southeast. The demon hordes encircle um, this this barrier where the portal is residing within, and they span miles and miles of terrain. The obelisk is indeed important because it serves as a network to transport those demons to and from the various places on the continent where they have have set up the smaller portals. But what our spies have noticed from afar is that there's very little activity surrounding the obelisk at this moment. It does not seem like it of being primarily utilized. What we have seen, however, is a lot of activity from two other points. One up here far to the northeast, and one up here far to the south. Um, at each point, a different breed of demon seems to be focused, and from these points we see creatures spawning or at least emerging in alarming numbers. Each each of those spawning points is guarded by a massive being, a creature of incredible size and power. They are very different from each other, but one of our many of our scouts having perished in the process of gaining this information. Some have been able to bring back general sketches of what they look like. Um, to the south is a creature of great great size, made of fang and claw and bone. And he brings out a picture. It looks something like this. And to the northeast, a creature, if anything, larger than this first, foreboding, but much less gruesome and much less active. But emanating from him is a steady aura of dread and power. From these locations, multitudes of demons and devils seem to be emerging daily.
Midas.
Yeah,
The bone dude is one of the two dudes I saw when I was there, right? If I
they both
remember
are.
correctly. I don't remember the third dude.
Yeah,
Mm,
we
They bo-
we saw both of these.
yeah, they both are.
Huh? Okay,
There were
so those are
four.
both the same dude.
There were four overseers that you saw. These are two of them. You guys already fought one of them.
So there's
Well,
still
you,
one
you
more.
killed the first one, and these are the two that you see. These are very large. Yeah. He says along the way there are various fortification points and barriers erected across the demon the plateau. So traversing this terrain with an army will be slow going indeed, if one could even make it past the demon hordes that fill the entire area. Fortunately for us, it seems we do not have to conduct our plans to limit our plans to typical warfare tactics. Our allies here seem to bring with them quite a bit of ingenuity and variety to give us options. And he kind of looks over at the direction of the others.
I have a question for Darius, real quick.
Okay?
Ask him. Do your scouts know how many of the smaller citadels reside on the continent?
He says, we do not. We have uncovered two in the over the course of the past couple of weeks, and it took a fair dedication of troops to handle them and exterminate them. But we have successfully eradicated them at significant cost. One was near the capital city of Westvane in Hasselin, and the other was something that we found near here, but 3 days ago.
They've
Another had
gotten
spawned to the west.
citadels all the way to Hessen. I'm asking him if he would speculate as to how many might be out there.
Um, he looks and he says, "That is beyond my ability to discern."
All right, next question. Let's say hypothetically that there were a couple of dozen of them out there. Given that, like you said, you had difficulty in dealing with the troops that had come through, would it be wise to destroy the citadel outright, not allowing them to come back, and leaving them to run rampant across the continent?
He says, "This is how we understand these citadels to work, these obelisks to work. They they are merely gateways connecting to each other and to this center obelisk that I've drawn here on the map for you. This
Right.
one right here. Um, he says any dedication of troops or numbers to a specific spot, say near Hasselin, for example, would require demons and forces to move from here through the portal and arrive at that foreign spot. And such could be done quickly, but they are finite in their number of forces. So if they were to use if they were to use these portals spread out through the nation, it would require them to dedicate forces numbers from here.
No, that you misunderstand. That's not what I mean. Um, my friend Rinley here, one of her concerns is that if we don't destroy the citadel before the battle begins, that those forces on the rest of the continent will come back. I'm suggesting that we allow them to.
He says, I'm inclined to agree. If they were to flee from here, they would be spread all throughout the continent, but it would allow our troops an advantage in numbers, perhaps, or at least weaken their forces in some way. If they were to recall all the forces that they have spread out, well, then it just means less danger to our allies and to our homesteads. Now, I'm
That's
more
what I was
concerned
thinking.
with the other 2 points, these spawning points. The numbers, the creatures that are coming from there, are entirely new.
Do we know
I,
where they're coming from, or just that they're coming from that location?
These two structures seem to be
Oh,
crafting points, birthing
there's
pools.
structures there. Okay, I missed
Yes.
that. I'm sorry.
I will nod towards the others who are planning on expounding on these the people who he nodded to.
Hmm. So you're asking them their opinions.
Yeah, and what they had found. Because he mentioned that they had found a couple of things.
Okay. Eloise mentions that she's brought dwarven siege weaponry that could along with the machinery of the crossbows and stuff that she's confident could reach farther than any of the demon ranged ranged weaponry. So she says that they could bombard the edges of the mass from afar, and begin to weaken it that way before sending in their troops. Ralphel says that his cavalry would prefer to just charge straight in. Telephos, however, has a different take on it, and of course, interpreting for Telephos is Ava, and she says, "Master Telephos has done a rudimentary and preliminary scan of the area. He he has discovered that there are great disturbances and fluctuations over the portal. The weave bends and flexes and flutters around it. It is a place of great concentrated power. We fear that teleporting near to the portal, would be tenuous at best. It might be possible, but it would require a great deal of skill and concentration, a dedication of power that is not insignificant on our end. And even so, the numbers that we could send through such a portal would be limited, as the opening would be very brief. That being said, we have done other scans and preliminary searches, and we have found that the representation of arcane power amongst the demon hordes is certainly something to be dealt with. These demons are of a variety of breed and species. Some some harboring great power within their claws and their fangs. Others being biologically dangerous with bile and acid. Still others emitting auras of decomposition, and where living creatures seem to just fall apart and degrade around them. But amongst all of these, there are demons heavily that serve as great focuses of arcane power. We can tell that if when we do come into combat with them, great magics, will be wielded against us, and we must be aware. We must be prepared to counteract that.
Does he know how far the distortion extends?
It centers above the barrier, and it gets weaker from there. The farther away, the easier it would be for us to accomplish any kind of subterfuge or teleportation.
So in theory, if we teleported, say, a mile above the dome, we would be fine, possibly.
She says, the as best as we can tell, the disruption is caused by the portal, and the portal is stretching from the abyss and Beator through the material plane to Mount Celestia. Vertically, the distortion stretches vertically as high as we can muster. We think it
Gotcha.
goes on to the edges of this plane.
So the scouts got pretty close. Is there any forestry around there?
Any kind of natural life has been long since eradicated.
Okay.
Now, if we were to teleport through further away, um, would you all have any methods of masking our travel um, to defended the barrier. Is this something that might be possible?
They look at each other. They say, "It would be highly dangerous. We could disguise you, but we could not tell you. Our eyes have not been able to peer too deep, too close to the barrier. The our arcane eyes and our various surveillance spells have not been able to reach too far. The distortion is too great. So, as best as we can tell, we can mask you from other demon kind, or at least disguise you. But if there is anything unknown to us from here, perhaps they have ways of discovering you that we are not aware of."
Um, does Telephos know how big? Like, let's say this distortion's like a, because she said it goes up. So let's pretend it's like a column, kind of. Um, does he know how what its diameter is?
She says the purest concentration is the size of the barrier. From
Okay.
there, it degrades gradually the further out you go.
Based on the type of distortion it is, can we infer that it would disrupt any kind of magic or just teleporting there? Like if you had, say, a spell effect on you, would it disrupt it?
She says the weave is bent and and um, and warped the closer you get to the barrier. How it is affected perhaps depends on the school of magic, the concentration of power used, the skill of the caster. It is
Okay.
highly unpredictable.
Um,
All the power of the weave is still present. So in theory, if one were properly skilled and could manage the variations in the casting nearby, spells should have full effect.
okay. Just teleporting's a bad idea. So, hey, Rinley, I have an idea. So, you know your big rock form that you have?
Yes.
This is what I'm. It has. It's pretty strong, right? Think you could
Not.
survive? You think you could survive a mile fall?
Mm, you. I look dubious at best.
You what was that?
I look dubious at best.
Okay.
Considering the height, and
Well,
the
it doesn't
damage
necessarily
carried
have to be a
over.
mile. It could be like a half a mile. This was my thought. I could go into one of my dragon forms and we could teleport up above the tower itself, the tower. And then we basically do, as in real worlds, we do a halo drop. And then on our way down, um,
But they just
we
mentioned
feather
that
fall down.
that
Huh?
this was the portal, the confluence was vertical, like it stretches from
Yeah,
uh,
that's what I'm saying.
all the way
Teleport
up.
above the
So,
tower, not the dome. The highest concentration is the size of the dome, is what she said. So I'm saying we teleport above the tower you want to destroy.
but it's right next to the dome.
We could teleport a little south. It's just an idea, and because I was thinking of how you destroyed that one tower by free falling on it, so we could like feather fall down, and once we're at about a half mile, you could release yourself from it and free fall down and just go right through the tower maybe. While we go down onto the dome, and then we can bring you up.
I think we were trying to save our element of surprise for after we'd broken that hole through the dome, so uh, Lady Ratthorn could hit uh, through the dome. Because if
Oh,
I go down,
I thought we were going for the tower first now. Sorry.
because I thought the whole point was to hit uh hit a Malcontent before she knew we were there.
Oh,
Wait,
we could. Oh no, that was my mistake. I thought we were trying to take out the teleporting tower first.
it sounded from what they were saying that the spawning points were more of a threat than the tower at this point.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Well,
Yeah.
then we could still try that and free fall down to it with Featherfall to the dome and just have him make the hole, have her zap the bitch, and then we jump in.
Is there a
Deimos and
way?
Elwyn, do you guys have any input on the plan?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, Deimos.
yeah, I mean, you seem pretty dead set. I mean, I don't really care. I don't know.
No,
Do we
no,
even know where
we're
she
trying
is
to come
inside
up
the
with a
bubble? Like, if we're
um.
gonna go in there, there could be another lieutenant in there and a bunch of other shit.
Would
Yeah.
it
She obviously would know that we're there, probably when we enter her lair.
would it be an apt description, Midas, to say that inside the dome is like being in a different dimension in a way, like it's some area that just literally bends to her will, and it's not necessarily constant.
A lot of the area is taken up by the portal, and the portal is static. It's an actual, it actually has a physical presence on this plane to anchor it. Most of the interior of that is dedicated towards anchoring the portal to this plane. There are, of course, you know, ways and roads and pathways and rooms and structures and stuff that she has set up in there. But the
Okay.
little bit glimpses of it that you've seen were limited. But yes, you do believe that she has um, basically complete control of the interior of that barrier.
And
And
Deimos, I have to warn you,
hmm
she has a pleasure palace.
Okay, you can go there if you want.
Oh, no, 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 I'm fine.
But I'm like thinking at this point, so there's all these big boyrinos out there, along with all of our allies. We go into this place. I mean, we can be as sneaky as we want to get in, but I was trying to think that no matter what, she's gonna know that we're there. Maybe after like 10 steps of us walking in there. Where it might even just be better if we try to take out these two lieutenants. Because that's gonna stop a lot more of this demon army like doing shit.
Deimos, you're a genius.
No, I'm a
If we
wizard.
no, if we kill the, you're a genius wizard. If we kill the lieutenants, it might provoke her to come out of the dome.
That's kind of what I was thinking. If we can kind of weaken her hold, she'll have to do something at least.
Because then maybe, forgive me as a player, I forget what's the storm lady's name.
Thunder Lady.
Radthorn?
Rathorn. Yeah, if we manage to pull her out of the dome, maybe Radthorn could do even more damage to her since she wouldn't be basically in a domain of her own in a sense.
I mean, I'm just thinking kind of like the less stuff that can threaten our allies that are big hitters lets some of our secondary big hitters do a lot more damage.
Right? And it stands to reason she's not going to sit idly by while we wipe out her generals.
hmm And we have all our dragons and stuff on the outside, which might help with these big boys. But that's just my what I was thinking. There's lots of stuff we can do. We could
What about
invent like an H bomb.
army? We could take out one of the big guys, the dragons take out the other.
The as you mentioned this Sigma 3, Eloise says, "Aye, our our best guess at their numbers is that the demons in totality are roughly over a half a million in number. That some of them are hard to quantify. Perhaps not quite a million in totality. We are outnumbered easily, close to 10 to 1 at the time being.
I
But
have
if
an
we are
idea for.
intelligent, then perhaps we could strike at the core and overcome one of these creatures."
Yeah, we might just have to like have a minor defense, then just alpha strike one of these guys.
Um, I have an idea to throw out there for helping you with your siege weapons and any other siege weapons we have. Um,
But
if
of course,
if Telephos and Short Stack can spare any mages, this is my idea, Midas. So, um, a ballista's bolt, its range is limited because the projectile is big,
hmm
right? So, my idea is mages using enlarge reduce to give them greater range effectiveness for their siege weapons.
So
That's
they
what I would
cast
say.
enlarge or reduce, and then
They reduce it and then let it go after it's flown about half. Like when it starts to arc down, they let the spell go.
she says, "It is an intriguing concept. Um, if we had the numbers of mages, we could perhaps employ that ability." Darius chimes in. He says, "I have a number of mages that I brought with me that are not of combat nature per se. They would they would most likely be best employed at an adventure such as this."
Because if the like for instance if the mages are reducing, like say the catapults or whatever it is, if they reduce the projectile, one, the operators can load them quicker, they can fire them further, and that in my opinion makes them at least 50% more effective if my calculations are correct.
She says, so they
And
they
they can
make
stay
arrangements.
back out of danger too.
Yeah, they make arrangements to start experimenting with it. Okay, so what do you guys want to do?
Deimos plan, I think. Which one do we want
So
to kill?
you guys are all deliberating here. And the hours of the morning are going by. Um, the troops are readying. Yeah, time's ticking.
Because Rinley made a good point. The leaders need to lead their armies. So the only resource we have to deal with the other lieutenant is the dragons, I think, unless I'm missing somebody.
Well, we gotta pick up stuff from Caliota.
Right.
And then, I mean, what if we just like, kind of like, I don't know, go with the dragons, like for sure kill. We don't want anything getting controlled again or something crazy happening.
I still think that even if it costs more resources and requires a lot of skill and ability, we should get as close to the barrier as possible with the dragons, and get that hole open. Because if we try to teleport in from further away and try to make our way in, as Demas mentioned, there might be a third lieutenant or something.
There is a third lieutenant. I can confirm that.
Okay, and we cannot guarantee that we'd be able to get to the barrier before being discovered. But at least if we can get ourselves to the barrier through teleportation, at least that part would be something locked in, somewhat.
But here's because Deimos brought up an interesting point earlier. If let's say everything goes exactly according to plan, I just thought of this, and we get to the barrier unseen, we get inside, she strikes her, we go in. What if she calls all three of her generals inside there to help her?
Yes, that is why we were trying to figure out how to coordinate this so that
Yeah.
we'd have the armies there rather than not.
But that's why I thought, I think it's a super duper good idea, but we don't know where she is inside of that area. And I think it's a pretty big area. So we could walk in and she would already know that we're there before we can kind of figure out where she's at.
Wait, no, but she's inside the barrier.
Yeah. Yeah. But I'm assuming it's like her like domain and she's kind of super powerful. So she'd probably be able to figure out we're there faster than we could find her.
Oh no, but wasn't Radthorn gonna hit her from the skies? So we know where she was.
Barrier?
And we're gonna be getting that hold in the barrier through Robin, and then Radthorn would light her up. And then we
Okay.
just...
Is Radthorn here?
At this moment, no. You can send for her though.
Yes, we need to send for her because this plan all hinges on what Telephos described with the distortion not affecting her power when she strikes. If we open a hole in the top of that thing and that distortion affects her power, it might not do anything.
Okay. Ava closes her eyes for a second and she opens them and she says, "'Tis done. Lady Radthorn
Thank you.
and a few of our other allies will be here shortly." A few minutes pass and you guys are all standing there. There's a solemn concentration. There's a um, a somberness to everyone's demeanor. The task at hand is daunting. It's looming, and everyone knows that this is going to be the the most perilous thing that you guys have ever undertaken. A few minutes go by, and walking through the tent flaps of this command center area that they've set up, you see an unlikely duo. You see one tall and shimmery elven or formerly elven lady. She still bears a resemblance to what an elf used to look would have looked like, and also a short and squat red-haired dwarf as they come in through the doorway. Okay. Um,
Okay.
Biffin speaks first. He says, "Hey, you called us."
We did. I will pose the information to Redden.
Redthorn pauses for a second, and she says, "I am unfamiliar with this distortion. It would take me some time to determine from my citadel whether or not my powers are effective. However, one should know that the citadel is from another time and place, crafted when the weave was in a different form than it is now. I have reason to believe that the disruption in the weave as you know it would have little to do with affecting my ability to deploy the citadel's strength."
Well, there's our answer.
Biffin says, "It makes sense. From eons past, the weave has undergone great changes. Yes. Tell me now, yes, what do you have of the dragons? What do you want us to accomplish during this time?"
Well, I think at the moment we have two possible plans. One plan is to try to, as covertly as possible, get to the barrier, penetrate the barrier, have Radthorn strike Demon Winch, and then we attempt to kick her ass. And the other is for the dragons to help us try to fell one of her generals and try to provoke her out of the dome, out of her sanctuary.
Okay. He says,
I asked Radthorn too. Does if the barrier itself, even with a hole on it, like being how that is kind of a realm of her own, the demons, if she were
Mhm.
outside of it, would her strike have more of an effect? If
Redthorn
she thinks it would
responds,
have more of a thing.
she says, "I doubt it would. The strength of the citadel extends back through the eons to Byricus and Estrella themselves." She says, "It is the on the highest order of divine strength."
Can we
Okay.
get another one of those citadels? Like,
Um,
card? They gotta be connected somehow, right?
there was
She
a
says,
way we could help her recharge it within like 10 minutes, I think, if I remember right.
High noon.
Oh yeah, as long as it's high noon.
yeah. She says, "There were 111 citadels once, but Melchior, once he destroyed the reign of the Gemini twins,
But he said it's
she
such a
says,
big
he
jerk.
proceeded to dismantle them all. None are known to me anymore except the High Squall."
Oh,
A
damn.
weapon that can strike down a god. I can kind of understand his fear.
Yeah, he's kind of just a jerk. I just don't even
Yeah.
know why he's doing stuff like that.
So
Whatever.
The Citadel
it
was
looks
never
like
intended to be a weapon. It is merely the refocusing of powers, natural energies that exist and flow through the planes. The Citadels were intended to be a, a bridge, a conduit, connecting the planes, allowing the free flow of energy and in fact, thought and eventually material, matter, amongst the planes freely.
Okay.
It was part of the Gemini twins' view of what a utopia would look like.
Ooh.
interesting. So we have Demos's plan, we have Rinley's plan. Now we need to
Well,
decide which one we're gonna do.
if she says it will work, right? I mean, Rennie's plan seems a lot more feasible. If we could just jump in there and go, coach, bam, but you,
If the I did believe that having the dragon's power to fight off malcontent would be
that might be
crucial
helpful.
at this point. Yeah,
If we're
but
doing
if
that, I mean, we might want to send like one guy to like help protect the citadel while it's recharging and stuff, if it's okay. But we might want the rest for sure. And should we bring up Biffin
Um,
and quickly?
could ask the peeps, in their honest opinion, do they think any of the armies could withstand being assailed by one of these gigantic creatures
Um, Darius says,
for any
"We don't."
significant amount of time?
He says, "Our armies are. These large creatures are unknown factors to us. Our armies are fortified. They are strengthened and entrenched as much as possible. We believe that it would take that any force would take some time to dismantle. Um, Even the strength of your dragons," he turns to Biffin. He says, "would take time to dismantle one of our armies." And Biffin nods. He says, "Aye, 'tis true." So he says, "We can withstand, um, and we can certainly engage their forces, their ground forces. For how long, however, we do not know.
Do you need the dragon's aid?
Just any aid we have, of course, would increase our chances of success in defeating this
There's
horde."
there's 8 dragons, correct?
Yep.
What if, hey Renly, what if we brought 5 with us, left 3 to support the army? You think that would be enough dragon power for going in the dome?
I think we would need all the power we can with malcontent, but if there's a way to buy time with the armies outside, so we may deal with malcontent, that is the crucial bit.
Actually,
Uh,
that might be good to have some of those dragons out there. Thinking this way is it's gonna be a
if
lot
they can
harder for
drop
them to.
those Caliota's
Yeah,
rocks, they can drop the rocks on
I'm gonna
those
that,
particular spawning points.
and
I'm
also it's gonna be harder for those lieutenants to get back in if we got big boy dragons there.
gonna postulate a question. If we destroy, let's say hypothetically everything goes perfect, we kill Malcontent, is this army still gonna be here, or are they gonna get sucked back into hell in the abyss?
We're gonna level up to level 21. A lot of
They might
experience.
leave through the spire. They might actually leave.
They might.
I, one would hope.
But in the event, we're gonna need a contingency for dealing with
Wow.
500,000 demons after we
And
kill her.
heck, well, in that place though, that means that the heavens are gonna be a whole lot better to help us because it was like one of the main funneling points.
True, but it won't remove remove the army assailing them from the heavens.
Yeah, it won't. But it's like it's gonna be like night and day.
Yes, it will definitely turn the tide, but it won't mean they can help us right away, though.
Oh, that's true. I know. But we'll be level 21. I don't even know what that means. But
I mean, Tempest will be really proud of you.
You don't care about that. I'll be level 21. We can legally drink, guys. Legally. Oh my gosh. Who would have
I
guessed?
thought, I thought you were already 21.
Shh, this is what my ID says.
Minor illusion. It says you're 21.
So hit malcontent, buy some time by hitting the spawning points with any with a couple dragons who might be willing, and focus on killing malcontent as fast as possible. Since
I think we should engage her before they attack the spawning pools, so she can't
Yeah.
retaliate against those dragons.
I
Because a single
do you
dragon
think
would.
I turn towards Rathon that when you hit malcontent, that might disrupt her control over the region, and that might make it easier for others to come in above the spawning points and drop Caliota's weapons on top of them.
Redthorn says, "It is certainly possible, if not probable."
There's another. Rinley, you just gave me a great idea. We don't need the dragons to do that.
No,
If we go to if we go to the dome at high noon, if we go at 11:50, she strikes Malkinthet. 10 minutes later, she can destroy one of the pools, and 10 minutes after that, she can destroy the other one.
We don't know how long it would take to create a hole in the barrier. We might need to get there earlier. But yes, I
Uh,
agree.
I
I
thought Robin can just make it instantly. Out of character. Isn't that his power?
um
He can make a hole through anything, no matter what it is, instantly.
he hasn't seen this barrier, so we're not sure.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, they're all.
Assuming,
Oh, sorry.
assuming that he can do it right away, she could, in theory, use her power 3 times.
While they're like deliberating all this stuff, I'm going to be running over to Kellyota's place, but also in the meantime, like, got my sending stone. I'm trying to get a hold of all of our past allies, kind of like, shit, like Feldorn and stuff like that. And then I want also, I don't even see why this is a big deal. We'll have Euphemia there. She got a new sword, so she'll probably be able to attack 47 times now. Like,
Yes.
honestly, probably.
As a bonus action,
Yeah, it's a
you can
bonus
activate the
action.
powers to sword and gain 47 more attacks.
Well, actually, that's a little bit of a part. 40, 45. They crit, I don't know,
Okay.
4
You
plus,
don't want
though.
it to be too overpowered.
45 auto,
So-
45 double damage auto crits.
Yeah,
So
well,
you're-
obviously, come on.
So what are you doing? You're contacting who and what?
I'm trying to, like, think really hard to Feldorn, because I'm assuming at this point he might be not dead and got super cool
He's not
powers
dead.
now
He was
because
just comatose.
he went through a lot. I'm, like, trying to, like,
I'm a wizard now. Feldorn, you can hear me? I think you were maybe also a wizard, not as strong as me, but we can use my power to Kalink, I'll do most of the work. Hey, there's no you can hear me. I heard you did some cool stuff, and you probably got some cool things, and you had that cool dancing sword thing, and you told me that you did something with eating a flower, and you got sick, and so I will never eat a flower again. Hey,
All right. So
yes.
how hard are you trying to do this?
like Damos almost, as he's, like, walking, he almost looks like he's shitting himself. He looks like the power lifter who's, like, red-faced as shit. Like, as
Okay,
I
roll an
actually now
Arcana
think
check.
I might be a wizard.
Modify memory 9th level. You are a wizard. I'm just kidding.
I'm getting better at Arcana.
As you reach out, so you said so Euphemia's around. She's hanging out with Kildrak, so I mean she's obviously present. Feldorn being the one that you haven't seen or heard from for a while. Now Feldorn was a warlock,
It's a wizard, right?
and the last time you guys saw him, he had succumbed to the poisoning of the lotus that he had ingested, and he had done this in order to prevent Inkamel from achieving his true form of Tarask. So, and he had also, yeah, that's basically what had happened. Renly had brought him off to the Feywild and left him there with the greatest healer of the Feywild, the King of the Fey. And that's the last time you guys heard. So you focus and you think and you try and you flex and you squeeze and you clench as best as you can.
Yeah.
And after a bit, you swear you hear a voice.
I'm a
A
wizard.
voice come out, speak to you. You swear you hear it. You're not sure where it came from, or whatever, but you hear a voice say this to you.
Oh no, I hear these random buttons clicking. I don't even know what buttons are. Feldorn, it's me, Demos. Now, good buddy. We need your help. Randy's here, Owen's here, and this weird guy who has a turning into a lizard fetish. Okay? You know you're way stronger now, and like we could totally use your help. So like, if you could get off, so like I know you're getting sweet checks from the government for being disabled, but we all know you're not. We just could really use your help, and if you could, that'd be super cool. It would really piss off Euphemia. Oh no, someone stole Euphemia's glory. It's Feldor. Dude, I have my calculator. Tell me the numbers. Like, are we thinking like over 9,000? Okay, what do you need help with, bro? Bro, it's okay. I have magical abilities now. Okay, what's your ritual? Just tell me. Just
I have a piece of paper out real fast.
okay. I have it ready. I have my piece of paper, and I'm writing it down. Tell me what you need.
He's gonna need your soul.
Okay, obviously it's difficult, but if you just tell me, it should be a lot easier. I probably up to it. I mean, I have pretty good health insurance.
Oh God.
Come on, boy. I got you. Hey, sure it's good. Hey, Fedron, you better not be turning into one of those Feywild people where it's like, hey, you better give me something real cool so I can help you out. Yeah, it's not cool. You're my buddy. So you stop doing that, okay? You just tell me what you hypothetically might need, and then we'll figure something out. Okay, let me guess. You need. Okay, yes, I will sign a pamphlet with Tempest. I will give you a Tempest pamphlet. I'll give you a premium, first edition. Son of a bitch. Yes, son of a. Fuck. Hey, you're not Feldon. Give me fucking Feldon back. You're a bitch. Hey, okay.
Oh
Do I get the living heart back after? And also, what are we talking about living?
I look really quickly for roadkill.
Do you see a chicken clucking away somewhere?
Guys,
I mean, that's a living heart. God.
Shit. Yeah. Yeah, you Feldon. You Feldon. Hey. Inside me? Okay. What does that mean? Okay.
Everything goes dark, and you see Damos just stand there in the street with a blank face, just like the whole world. It's like it's like all more pixelated-ish, but it's like gray and black, and he's just like, you feel like everything's in like kind of slow motion, but it's like just choppy images. And there's a pirate for some reason. I don't even know why.
And an octopus.
And an octopus. I'm just like, no, you can't do that. Oh, wait, why would you do such a thing? Can't you? No, wait a second. No. He means the chimichanga guy.
Pause
Because
for a
if
sec.
chimichangas have been inside me,
Midas.
I will murder you.
Aren't we all telepathically linked?
This is the next day.
Okay.
So no.
He's awesome. Okay.
Alright. I say, give me one little rain check real fast, okay? Stay on hold. Stay on hold. I'm a wizard of great power, and you don't want to stand me up. I will see what I can do in this situation. Young person who is definitely not Feldhorn. Feldhorn at least put 2 dick jokes in there. That's how I can tell you are not Feldhorn. So, what are you gonna do with the heart? You seem kind of pretty, not a good person. Renly!
I start straight over to Renly.
I'm totally with the council. Yes, what is it?
Break in there, like head first, smash a table, push something to the side, and I pick up a chair and smash it for literally no reason.
I'm just like, you never believe what I just heard. Now I'm probably the most powerful wizard there's ever been. I'm kind of shocked that they're not asking me to be Mistrala now, or the god of magic. But I use my divine powers and holy arcane stuff. You don't understand. You're just immortal. And then I was trying to talk to Feldorn, but Feldorn didn't make any dick jokes, and I was very concerned. And then he asked for your heart, and I was like, Feldorn doesn't want his heart. The only heart he wants is probably to stomp on Euphemius, because it would probably make him giggle a little bit on the inside.
You're not wrong there, and
This bitch. I mean, I don't know if she is or not. She could actually be a nice person, but she wants me to give her your heart to guarantee victory. I
Uh,
think I need to set you up on a Tinder date with her.
recollection.
Loving
This
fire.
isn't the first time somebody's asked for Renly's heart.
What's so cool about Renee's heart?
If I
remember
remember
I mentioned this.
Huh?
a few sessions ago, someone asked for her heart.
Who did
Wasn't
that?
it a Fey person?
A fair person. What's that?
Yes, when Adis was kidnapped, I had done a ritual
Oh,
to commune with greater powers
yeah.
than my own, and
No.
I think there was a certain Fey uh, rule of sorts from the
Oh shit.
Feywild.
Is
And
this the
Feldon
lady
is
that
in that area, so she would have
took your
control
eye?
over the area. And if you tried to contact him, she might have intercepted it. And
Oh,
oh, she's still interested in my heart, is she?
why does she want your heart? What did you do, Renee? Renee.
I'm
You did
not
not
sure
have
what
this
she
one, did
could
you?
do with my
Wait,
heart.
wait,
I
is it-
look towards Teleforce. Probably not good things, but how bad could it really be? I smile
You'd be
questioningly.
dead.
But
Wait.
dead versus guaranteed victory. There is a cost attached to everything. But
Oh, can't we
would
just
I suffer
regrow
eternally in
your heart?
her control?
Deimos,
What?
ask him if the heart was given and he didn't live up to the bargain, would he forfeit his life?
Okay, I don't even know what that means.
Just
But
ask.
you mortal people are so common now.
And you see Damos start flexing again. I'm trying to like contact.
I'm like, hey, shit. What did you say again, Mr. Lizard Man? If the heart didn't live up to thing, what would happen?
Write it down, Ada.
I write it down and give it to him.
It's hard when I'm concentrating on so much magic.
All right, so I say that like in my magic wizard hat. I actually get a piece of paper and I curl it into a cone and I like kind of fold it together so I have like a hat that's like a wizard hat.
I'm like,
I even draw a star on it.
all right.
And I ask her,
Hey, wait a second. You're using my catchphrase lie. I use that all the time. Trust me, it does not work. Right, yeah. All right, how about this? Tell me what color underwear I like to wear. Case it says that it's actually here. It says trust me.
Trick question.
Wait, whoa.
You don't wear underwear.
Shh.
I could have
Don't tell
told
that
you
one.
that.
They'll never figure it out. Okay. Hey, what? It's the rules. What is your name? I know you're not Feldorn. Oh, whoa. First up, hey, no one else can hear this, right? No one else can hear this. Okay. Oh shit. Are you Santa Claus? How'd you know that? Okay. Okay. Oh, just don't tell anybody about that. Yes. Just don't do that. That's not a bad idea. Okay. Can you just like come here? Wait a second. Remember. I do remember that, but I can't do that. He's trying to trick me. You can't trick me. I'm the tricker guy.
and I say,
If you give me 3 of your hearts. Oh wait, I did do that. Oh, it was pretty cool. Oh shit. Guaranteed victory.
Ask him the question, Deimos.
I did. Yeah, I did. What happens if whatever she said?
Yeah.
Yeah. What happens then?
If the heart's given and he doesn't live up to his end of the bargain, will he forfeit his power in life?
Pretty much, if you don't come through, are you gonna give up?
What'd he say, Deimos?
He said, "Oh, oh, oh, okay, you son of a bitch.
There you go.
Okay. Oh, let me fucking get his face. I know you're tricky little stinky
It's
tapes.
the way to it.
How about this? How about this? Uh, instead of Feldorn, my good buddy, instead of you offering up your life, what if it was you turn Euphemia into a man? Forever. No,
Deimos,
take
has,
it back.
has Feldor ever been inside you?
No, sir.
Okay.
Well, we've all technically been inside Deimos, telepathically.
Yeah.
So that would count.
Wait a
Well,
second.
then offer her Feldor's heart. Or offer it Feldor's
Okay,
heart.
seriously, lady. I think I know you're dirty, just like being a very terrible trickster lady, and like you're trying to go on and give me this shitty deals. But I think your charisma score is lower than mine, which is pretty bad. It's like the really bad person trying to trick the only kind of bad person at tricking people. Like, just want a heart for some dumb reason just to kill my friend. You just like being a jerk. I think you're a cool person, and I think we could definitely be friends and benefit from each other. And I just think that if you become friends, and we can help you a lot more with the random stuff you want, you don't have to try to hurt my own people, which I like a lot, and I think they're all pretty cool. Okay, let's just be friends.
Oh,
Okay.
hell.
Oh shit. If I could
Oh,
eat
that's
bitch
nice.
with
How'd
fuck-
you guys meet?
Okay.
Who the fuck is
Shit.
this? Deimos?
You Phil Dorn's hurt. Everybody, everyone in the room, everybody, please have your strongest attack on standby. Wait a second. I bet you can't pick up Feldorn's heart right now. She'll fall for it instantly. Oh, shit.
Hold on. I'm gonna cast Deimos Tether.
Oh, okay.
Oh wait, you pulled me towards you.
No, just so I can have it on you.
Oh,
Just in
shit.
case something happens, I can pull you.
He's like, I know this will probably go wrong, but obviously I want to see it, and if you have a button to push, probably I'll want to push the button too.
I am going to cast an 8th level spell on Deimos.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna mind blank Deimos.
I'm doing what?
During all of this, I cast Foresight on Deimos because holy shit, man. Why?
I don't know. You guys
Strange.
call out into the depths and
I
shit
did-
happens.
Just don't resist. Please. And I
Okay.
cast mind blank on him.
What does mine blink do?
Protect you.
Okay.
It
Sure.
was my like too.
It basically is gonna sever this conversation.
I think he can still communicate. It just doesn't allow mind control, I think.
Let's see.
And
Where's
it
the
gives
spell?
you
My blank.
psychic damage.
Psychic damage any effect that would sense its emotions, read its thoughts, divination, and the charm condition. Okay, so maybe it wouldn't stop the conversation, but it would prevent him from being affected.
Like
In
harm.
theory.
Yeah.
Why do I have to roleplay Deimos? He's like super easy to trick, but he's also really bad at tricking people.
But I'm casting that on him to protect his mind.
Okay.
And Deimos
Alright.
then goes and says, yes, he'd like a peek.
I said maybe. Just a little peek.
Okay. All right. 1 second here. You know.
I just want my buddy back. And they keep trying to take away my friends.
I don't recall. It was was so long ago. I don't even recall what Feldorn looked like.
I bet you
what,
would like.
what race was he? Do you remember what race he was?
He,
Shit,
he
I
was
gotta look it up.
he was a drow. He was a
Drow.
drow. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll be
elf
back in like 30 seconds.
drow.
Grab my beer.
Turning into a were of some sort, I think.
Yeah, he was being consumed slowly
And then
inside.
he met with his patron or some kind of entity, and that is when things got really shitty because he rolled really crappy on his roll to
Apparently, he
survive.
sold his heart.
No, he ate a flower. He literally ate a flower.
No, but when he got taken to the Fae, apparently he sold his heart to live.
I think he was in a coma, so it might not have been voluntary necessarily. Not sure.
I don't think you can involuntarily agree to a Fae deal, can you?
Well, if he was in a coma, they could
Like
have killed him and
generally
harvested
speaking,
his
like
heart.
out of character. I mean, generally speaking, out of character.
She didn't mention
Oh,
this was a
anything's
living
possible.
heart. Yeah, she did mention this was a living heart, so who knows?
No, I'm not saying he couldn't have been tricked into it. I'm just saying that. That's my perception. But where did that spell go?
Alright, I'm having a hard time finding a good picture for this. I think what we'll do is...
Feywild changes you in a number
Oh,
of
that's
ways,
him.
so
Oh,
it's
is that him?
understandable.
All right, I'm back.
Okay. Alrighty. Just save this in the right spot. Alright. You guys, so Damos, you said yes?
He said, probably, can you take a peek? Because it's just a little bit. But I'm not agreeing to nothing. I just said I kind of want to take a peek.
Alright. So, you're sitting down and you see the world around you begin to like shimmer and darken slightly, and in the ground in front of you, the earth begins to move a little bit, just like little ripples of movement in the dirt in front of you, and you can see it begin to take the shape of like the outline of a face, right? And you see, and after a few moments go by, vaguely familiar in its basic structure, but much changed, and the whole side of his face, like eaten away and corroded away, is your friend Feldorn looking at you, pain and suffering in his eyes. You see desperation kind of looking at you, and agony just kind of piercing his the expression on his face.
Friend, what the fudge is going on? Alright. Who the fuck you said that?
You see Feldorn's eyes blink slightly, clenching in pain, and you can see his lips moving. You don't hear any sound, but you see his lips moving. Roll a perception check.
Oh, thank God.
You hear him whisper. You see his lips say that to you.
Okay. Can I get the like what type he's like? Does he want to get saved? Does he want to like put like does he know like his demise is over? Like can I kind of see what he might be thinking? Cuz
His expression. I mean, that's it's. I mean, you're looking at the dirt. So there's not a lot that you can get from this. All you can tell is that he's in great agony, and that he knows that you're at least able to see him. You gather from the expression on his face that he can't really see you, and you're not even sure if one of his eyes is functioning. So
Okay.
I turn around to whatever said this pet thing.
And I'm just like, oh. I don't know what you are or what you think you're doing, but you're fucking up. I'm gonna do some pretty bad stuff to you if you don't let my friend go. It was all fun and games. Why do you want Renly's heart? You can at least answer me one stupid freaking question without your roundabout stinky things. Oh, you know what my greatest desire is? Alright. You my every desire. And what happens if you don't follow through with your bargain? And how can I even believe you if I don't know what your name is? Okay. But I get everything my desire. Is that what we're going with? I get everything I desire. And I get I really want a floating
I'm whispering that in your ear,
chair.
Deimos.
But seriously, though, seriously, what's your name? Like, I could be like, oh, I'll give you everything you want, but you could really just be like a sentient cow. But I just want to know who I'm dealing with. You never make deals with people you don't know. It's kind of important,
I whisper-
actually. I'll tell you my real name if you tell me your real name. Just seriously, tell me what the fucking name. You seem very untrustworthy if you can't reveal your stupid freaking name. It's kind of, you literally can't have a deal if I don't have your actual name as part of the documentation. Do you not know how lawyering works? Like, seriously.
Damos is putting on his glasses he does not need whatsoever and pulls out
Got
some
the
paper.
need foresight for this.
And then I pull out, like, I'm just like, I make a chair appear from nowhere at a table. Don't worry how this happens.
And I'm like, sit the fuck down. We're gonna have a legal debate.
Contract has to have names on it.
They have to, obviously. If not, that means you're gonna be giving me stuff and you don't get anything from it. And that you're still viable for the rules of what you said in the conceding. So I would still get everything that you said you'd give me if you failed the contract, but I therefore also never have to give you anything. So I'm doing this more to not screw you over, because I'm a good holy man.
You see Feldorn's face, the impression of his face on the ground, suddenly like contort in pain and agony.
My friend wouldn't want us all to get killed, even if you're torturing him. I'd do the same thing. And I see you're kind of not playing by the rules, and therefore showing that you need our help. Just like we need your help. So it seems like you're kind of desperate, but not really. But we could help each other.
I whisper
We
in
gotta
your
come to a
ear,
real
keep
agreement.
insisting on a name.
I don't, but we have to have the name, like, obviously.
Tell them if they give their name, you'll agree to the deal.
If I have your thing, if I get everything my heart desires, you release Feldorn. And and I get the height of your power. Is that what it is? We get your name. Pretty much, I get everything I want. I mean, I still
want
need
the
a
name-
name,
you
but we
want the
could
name
probably
first.
do a deal. I don't see why it would be a problem here. Yeah, I know, you just ripped something off Feldorn's back. Yeah, it's kind of a jerk move, actually. Okay, you give me my name. Okay, what is it? It is... Okay, and the power to win the war. This war. get Renly's
Name,
heart, and
na-
and
name, name first, then Renly's heart.
and I get my heart's desire, correct?
Am I hearing all of this? Because I'm kind of
Fresh
going
I'm
like,
whispering. I'm
Yes.
whispering to you, Renly, to
Fresh
create a
cut from the
telepathic bond
chest,
with
still
everybody
beating.
us.
And but I still get everything in my heart's desire the moment the contract starts, therefore after payment, correct? Okay. I want it written down, everything that my heart desires, and therefore heart is pretty much more of mind stuff of what I personally think. And if you fail, you also well, if you
But-
fail the war, not give me what I want, correct? If you fail me in any way, I get Feldorn back. But if there's a thing of possible failure, which you're implying that you're not 100% success rate, therefore you wouldn't actually get payment until contractual completion, isn't that correct?
Hey, Deimos.
This guy's not good at arguing.
no. So basically, I give my heart, and they don't do anything, and they just free Feldorn. This is
Yeah.
a terrible plan.
He's not very
No,
good.
no, it's not. I'm telepathically telling everyone in the room but Deimos to get ready for a fight.
I'm just like, seriously, bro. Okay. What's that name?
And then say, give me the name, and then I agree.
No, I'm not saying that. We need
Do
to
it.
go over the cool fun stuff.
Well, you'll give the name, and then you'll go over details. But the name has to come first.
I'm trying to remember. Like I had talked to the deity before. What was the name of the deity that I talked to?
I don't think it's a deity. It's just a powerful.
Do you remember?
Like,
You definitely
I'm
heard it
trying
before.
to remember. I was like, damn it, because
That's why you should take
she had
notes.
given a name. I had written it down somewhere, and now I'm like, I can't freaking find it.
All right, lady or man.
Okay, going
Whatever
through
you
notes
are.
now. I do a hand motion, kind of going. I buy some time. Buy some time. I need
How
to find
about
my
this?
file note.
I 100% know that you know what I'm trying to get, and I 100% know that you know that. Well,
What was
I know
the
what you're
spell
trying.
you used, Renly?
Commune. Contact other plane.
You have to understand, though. This is mutual beneficiary for both of us, regardless of what happens before or after payment. Because you have to understand, after these things deal with us, they're gonna come to deal with you, and then you just don't win at all. You'll never ascend, or you'll die, and all that type of cool stuff. And that's why I think you're even trying to talk to me. Because you know deep down, you could be like one of us.
You can't contact gods with that. Okay.
How about this? We'll get you milk or whatever fuck that bitch's heart is. You can do whatever you want with that. That's literally unbridled power. You could probably move up a few rankings or whatever system you're going with. But we all know that you need our help. Pretty sure. Okay. Okay.
So Renly says that name. Do I recognize it? Just on the off chance.
All right.
Do you?
I mean, like any like with all the the long life, the study.
I will
Have I
share
ever
that
heard of the meeting?
it was from the Feywild, and she is one of the powers of the Feywild. I don't
Possibly
remember exactly.
read about it or whatever. Read about it.
Roll a Feywild. It's not your area of expertise. So you can make a
Maybe.
history check. It would be pretty
Okay.
hard for you though.
Okay.
Until textual contractual things are complete,
Natural 20.
I give my dragon buddy a good heads up.
Okay. Yes, it does sound familiar to you. It is the name
Do
of
I-
of. Go on.
Oh no, go ahead.
It's the name of the being, the female Fey Queen that gouged your or asked you to gouge your eye out for her.
Okay. Would she constitute a planar ruler?
You don't know that about her.
Okay. Um, I'm gonna cast suggestion on Deimos.
Deimos, it's a wisdom save.
Do I see this? That he's casting a spell on my buddy?
There's my plan's not gonna work. I can't do what I was gonna do, so we have to stop this conversation. I say mentally as I'm.
Hey, lady, can I have your heart?
Yeah, he resisted it.
He
You feel
has
a
Yeah,
tingling
there's
foresight
no
in
way.
your
anyway.
head.
Lady,
Yeah. Okay, go on.
how about this? I have your little stupid plan set out. We can probably get you what you want, but until you actually deliver the goods, as you know, as any deal, you don't receive payment. It's obviously you've probably done this many times before. If not, you're a terrible business person, but I'm sure you're not. So what we're gonna be doing is, I can give you a down payment up front of a very, very small portion of anything. This is just to show that we're kind of cool people. You fulfill your bargain. Uh, I can sign for a contextual thing of completion of full task. And once the full task is a say completed, I will go through the full checklist of everything of my heart's desire and through all of the different things in the order of my choosing until every single thing is completed in the order that I choose is correct. And at the end, we can give you Renly's heart. That's not how these things work.
Nope, no deal.
That's not how. Lady, I'm sorry. What? Whoa, wait. Lady, could I have like 15% of her heart and you have 85% of her heart to acquire the power? What power would we get from it? Come on. Oh, just a victory. You don't get any cool powers if I take Renee's heart. But do we also get her heart back?
But the demons don't die that fast. She'll be afraid.
Oh. Oh, you're just a terrible, terrible, tricky lady. It's like
Wait.
you're trying to trick a Deimos.
I think we're
Um,
gonna exchange the demons for the Fae.
Yeah, she just wants to fate to destroy everything till every demon's dead, which is impossible. Okay. Well, Faye lady, I think that you are okay, and I think that you are
I
cool.
will say through the mental link, I know who he's talking to, and we need to stop this conversation.
Yes. And I think that maybe next time we can work something out. But as for right now, I think that murdering a good friend of mine is a bad idea. I don't know why murdering a friend of mine is a bad idea, but it seems like a bad idea. So I'm going to go back to my place, but keep me in mind if you
Hey,
have things that you
Deimos,
might think are. And
before you
please.
stop,
Oh, yes?
I whisper into your ear, ask the person if they're enjoying the new eye.
I believe my secretary asked if the new eye is feeling good. Yeah, what's what you needed? It was what's this
Oh.
eye? Okay, you're actually a little bit
Now,
cooler in my book. Oh,
now,
sorry.
Deimos, you should know who she is now.
Yeah. Oh shit. Oh shit. Okay. Well, I'm out. We'll talk later. Keep me in mind for future ingredients. But I just think we can work things out a lot better from now on. But for now, it's gonna be a no-go. Sorry about that.
And then Deimos like slaps himself and like blows his nose and squats.
To wake up.
You hear the voice, the presence kind of fades away from you, and the whispers stop. The last thing you do see, though, is Feldorn's face, just like frozen in the dirt there, with a look of agony. And it's just the dirt is just permanently formed like that.
Deimos is very not happy about this.
It's
Yeah,
a
I had a
struggle.
plan, Deimos, but when we figured out who she was, that plan wasn't gonna work.
Well, I actually think she
Because
is
I'm no,
almost a
I was gonna,
demon.
I
You were
was
gonna
gonna
try to
gate,
gate her.
I was gonna
Yeah.
gate her ass into the room, and then we
I
were gonna
don't.
kill her.
Yeah, I was like, I don't even think that
But
would have worked
but
either.
if
I
she's a
just.
queen, if she's a fake queen, more than likely she's a planar ruler, and I wouldn't have been able to open it even with
Yeah.
Telephos's help.
We're
I'm just
obviously
like.
dealing with Malcolm that we did need a second ruler to be dealing with.
I'm just like, if
Oh no, I think
I
with
was
the
like,
power gathered in this room, we probably could have killed her ass.
if I had a, if I wasn't playing a, which I very start at the beginning to play a very very bad charismatic, well, very bad charisma character, I probably would try to argue for like an actual good deal, but Deimos can't do that. There's no way in
That
his
was
backstory he'd be able to. Like, I'm just like, I know so many loopholes and stuff we could do,
No,
but it won't work.
there is a way. There is a way. Obviously, taking the heart doesn't kill the person. She said she
Yeah.
already had his heart, so there was a way we probably could have strung that deal. And then
Well,
what you could do, it's really easy, Deimos, to avoid a deal like that. She said she would give you every desire. You know what?
yeah.
The one thing she can't
No.
give you,
So
she can't
what
make
it
you a
was,
god.
no, she could give me every desire, all that type of stuff like that. But the whole contractual thing she was going for was if she couldn't live up to any of those things, she'd release Feldorn. So that's why you have to do a thing. So you have to go through the full
You have to do the
personalized checklist of the person's person's order of what they have to get done. So
yeah.
Exactly. Others should
mark off
just give
stuff.
us
And
Feldorn and
one of the failure
hold up.
conditions has to be give her back her heart, and you give one of the conditions be the one you desire to be a god.
Oh,
That
I
is
don't
a
need to
desire.
be God.
That's a desire she can't fulfill, so she would fail her into the bargain.
Oh no, she would never sign up that. But yeah, but well, now we know that she's crazy. But you know, if we get stronger and stronger, maybe she actually could be useful. I think we should
and
just text.
until then, Feldorn is in complete agony and being tortured,
Yeah,
stripped apart
Indeed.
piece
I'm
by
like,
you
piece.
have to
Jesus.
understand, like, as soon as Damos gets stronger, like, Damos' bitch ass is gonna go down there and be like, "Hey, lady, time for
James,
me
we
to
didn't
smack
need
you
to
a new
know
one."
this. Did you have to go and try to contact Feldorn? And now Buddy just feels guilty for leaving Feldorn behind. And she's like, maybe it would
This
have
is.
been okay to cut off my heart. No, no, it's a terrible plan.
But
Ah, that was a
she
fun exchange.
she
Oh, the Vikings.
she belied a weakness in her final two statements, though. Either that, or she was just trying to be rude. Faye don't make worthless deals.
Yeah, it was a mind game. But the thing is that why does she need my heart for power? Okay,
You
this is
could
very
possibly be.
Oh, resurrected God. Dun 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 dun.
Well, think about it, Renly. You're very powerful.
I am not a free ruler.
You could be.
Yeah, but they like the
You
Fae
would.
like to the Fae are like a freaking mischievous version of demons. They might as well be demons. They're just demons that look pretty.
Considering the lack of faculties we have in certain departments, I point towards the brain or Damos's brain. I think there were
All right. So, on the off chance though, I'm just gonna go pick that stuff from Caliota to save some time.
yes,
Okay.
and
See,
Deimos,
We can go do our
you
plan.
are protected for 24 hours.
Yeah, motherfucker.
You can't be have your thoughts read. You can't be divined or charmed, and nobody
Mm.
can sense your emotions.
if you want to do
Sexy.
anything, with Kalyata, I don't mean sleep with. I mean like with developing any weaponry, or I think you're pretty good for it for today. You're
Yeah.
kind of blessed in that regard, so do it quick. And I don't
Yeah.
mean do her. Go.
No, but yeah, I think we already have our deals all set out and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, I
So
think so.
I'll run up there and be like,
Good. Do we have the
okay.
stuff? Do we got
So
the
you,
goods?
yeah, you secure teleportation back to West Fane. You meet up with Caliota. You're able to find her even though it's midday. The urgency of the situation. She's working even in her off hours.
Mhm.
Um, and you see that in the last 2 days that she had, she managed to piece together some weaponry of great impressiveness. I'll give you let's see here. Roll a d12.
I rolled a 12. You just didn't see it. That's a 12.
Oh, oh.
Okay, you arrive. You arrive there,
Does
and
that
she
work
says,
with
"Oh,
with
Did you
foresight?
actually roll a 12?
Yeah, is that foresight? It should totally be. No, I didn't.
Oh,
I totally lied.
she says,
no, that
Demos,
would have been
Demos, I was
funny.
not expecting you to return so quickly. Like, she says, I must admit, this task that you asked of me was challenging, but it is good to see you, Demos.
Uh-huh.
This, I have been laboring for the last 48 hours. This,
Okay.
I'm in much need of some respite and some
No, you
recreation.
don't. Take your shirt off. You keep working. I keep
She says,
massaging.
she says, Alas, I'm afraid I am spent. I have put every ounce of my talent and my power into this.
Thanks,
She
over
holds up a small bluish looking, about the size of a baseball, a small roundish object. It's kind of dirty. You know, you can tell it was hastily assembled. It's like a thin iron shell around whatever is inside it.
Young lady, do you think
Yes.
you could work on it a little bit more? I have these magical
But-
fingers, which happen to get rid
She
of
said,
the
she said,
entire-
but Demos, do you not know that my powers of everything I have I've placed into this device for you, the explosive with concentration of magical energy that you have asked of me.
So you're saying this is a super cool bomb?
Well, it is everything I was able to impart into this. She says, I even gave up my most precious possession for it.
Oh, what was that?
Perception check.
I see everything.
Yeah, you notice that the
Oh, I
necklace
didn't
that she
interpret. I
always
swear.
wears is gone.
Yeah, Yoda. It's good to us. Oh my gosh. Is there any way I can...
She reaches
feel
up. She
it?
she
Oh,
she
sure.
she puts her hand. She touches her hand on the side of your face. For you, Deimos. Only for you.
I'm even stronger now. Like, literally.
You have. She says.
There's
She looks
one
into your eyes and she says. She says, You have made this old woman feel young again.
Dude, seriously, though. Lady, I feel bad.
For 85 years, I wandered the
I'm
earth.
robbing the cradle.
And
I'm robbing the cradle. I think I'm actually older than you. I used the word.
seeking adventure and
Mhm.
and seeking fulfillment in serving the greater mankind. When
Yeah.
all those decades, many years.
Okay, so many years. Wait, seriously though, I feel kind of bad. I think I'm
All I
actually
was
older than
searching
you.
for was you.
Is that what we're going with? Don't you understand, young lady? Like, I feel like I'm robbing the cradle. I'm like one of those old guys who hits on younger women like yourself, and like it's just not good. You could do so much bad.
She puts the orb, the sphere into your hand. She says,
So seriously though, like,
This is
why don't we
my magnum opus. And she puts it in your hand.
know how to spell that? It's crazy. Now, one last thing. Do you have that cool cape I asked for?
I'm sorry, Deimos, I do not. I placed
Okay.
everything I have into this one device. It will be
Amazing.
a while before I am able to conjure up anything again.
Oh shit. But on the off chance, you don't happen to maybe have like 2 rings, like a ring of like necrotic resistance and like a ring of fire resistance to you. And also, titanium, adamantium, mithril, hyper cock ring. Cause we're gonna need it.
She says, That I have already prefabbed.
And it
Yeah,
casts
the other rings
Dominate
too.
Monster on demons.
She says, yes. Now, there are some directions that go along with this device that I have
Of
given to
course.
you.
Please write them
She
down.
says, yes, first and foremost, she says, you must say a prayer. A prayer before you activate it and utilize it. It is a simple prayer, but um, it must be repeated word for word.
Mhm.
And she
Okay.
she she writes down on a piece of paper this phrase.
Oh, I'm going to. 1 second. I have this notebook right here, and I'm gonna pour that into
And
it.
then and then there are several steps that must
Shit.
occur.
Okay.
5 steps afterwards, to be precise. Here,
All right. Oh shit.
So one, three.
and now she says, I apologize if it is not clear. I was quite exhausted when I finally placed the instructions together. I fear I must retire, Demos. I have
Okay.
to sleep, and
Very well.
it will be a long rest.
But can I have the drinks? Time for you to sleep.
She says, have a good war, Demos.
Okay.
I hope to see you again. And she you see her
Wait, this
she
may be
she
dying and
waves her
shit.
hands, and she teleports herself away.
Okay. But I'm assuming she didn't have any of the other rings or anything like that.
Nope,
Okay.
that's all you get.
Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, we'll take it. We'll take it. I
Okay.
go back to little brat mage who teleported me there. I'm like,
Like, guys, I have a weapon of mass destruction. Don't tell George Bush, or he'll bomb us for oil. Quick, take us back.
Okay, and you get teleported back to the front lines.
all right. I show everybody the thing. I show everybody the notes on it.
Okay. Do you guys know this quote?
Not at all.
So you've never seen in Quest for the Holy Grail, Monty Python?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking of because it just went on Netflix again.
Let me see. It's yeah, it's not even that funny. It's just funny in the moment. Quest for the Holy Grail is one of those movies that's like kind of dumb to watch, but it's really fun to quote.
Hmm. It's one of those movies like I actually don't think those guys came with much stuff, but if you have a few beers and like you were some buddies and you're just like making fun of shit, it's actually a really good movie.
Yeah, yeah. Once if you're drinking with friends and you're just having a fun time, it's really fun.
I mean that rabbit.
Yeah, the
How
rabbit was
does this work
beast.
if they're really high up? Like, we count to one, two, and then it explodes when it's just falling in the air?
You guys got to work out the logistics.
All right.
Okay, what do you guys want to do?
Let's go murder some demons.
I look towards the dragons. Who would want to buy time with the lieutenants, the spawning points? Who'd like to drop this on one of them? I look to the evil
Um,
dragon because there was one who was very evil and was very happy to kill everybody later. So
Okay, yeah. So you say, I mean, so you can send Practinic, Krigajard, and say Teofencia to to maintain the war on the outside, and
that makes
to
sense.
help,
Yeah.
yeah, with the efforts out there. Okay.
Practinic, can you drop this in on, I guess maybe the second one, the one who looked creepy but not too gross, because that one looked like the more unknown quantity. I don't know. What do y'all think?
We might have to use this grenade ourselves. It's kind of complicated than just dropping
Crap.
it. And
All right.
also, how cool would it be?
Make sure he's leashed, I tell Elwin.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, he's that's his natural state, being leashed.
Okay. So you guys have spent the majority of this day planning and retrieving your weapons from Caliota. The rest of the army has settled into place, and you feel like the preparations, the uneasy tension that's the feeling of the camp, and along with the excitement of going to war, but also the dread of knowing that the vastness of the foe, the in sheer numbers, there's a very somber dread that's over everybody. You see individual soldiers just sitting around, just like talking to each other, nervous laughter, and trying to share stories with each other. But just anything to lighten the mood. But all of it seems a little bit fake, manufactured, because they all have the knowledge that you know death is probably in the near future for them. So it's a weird tension in the air of all the soldiers around you.
I give moral speeches about how if they fight great and worship Tempest, it, you get to keep fighting and doing cool stuff in like the heaven area, and it's like super cool.
Roll a d12.
Can't be worse than last time. Can't be worse than last. Like, oh, it's just definitely better.
You see of the thousands of people around you, 8 people were listening to you.
Got
Wow.
him. This is amazing for Damos. He's never had 8 people listen about this Tempest thing before. Like, he is on fire.
Oh, I would check with Ava to see if like who would did they have in mind for the teleportation to get that to work if we wanted to get do it all the way to the barrier or close enough.
She says, "Close to the barrier." She says, "It will have to be the strongest of us, Telephos himself, along with me and several of our most powerful mages. We will form the base of the circle, and we will send you as best as we can to where you wish to go."
Radthorn, does the position of the hole in the barrier matter?
She says, "I will have to have vantage points from my orbit. Direct line of sight."
Can I approximate the incline of the dome?
Sure.
What do I need to roll?
What are you trying to do?
I need to know how fast it curves up. Like how much of the side of
Um,
the dome is flat before it starts to curve.
oh, it's quite large. So,
Oh no.
I mean, there are mathematicians there. I mean, you have engineers and that kind of stuff. Let's say you get it exactly. It's a very gradual slope. The dome itself is, um, it's about a square mile inside.
Yeah, my idea is because we really need to get my stuff before we go inside there. So my idea for the teleport was where the bitch was torturing me, so I can get my stuff back
Hmm.
because I kind of really need it. But we need to be able to just walk up and put a hole in the side of it, and I'm wondering if she would be able to strike through that if we put one somewhere near the base.
Near the base of it, she says, "That will make it quite difficult for me."
It needs to be on the top.
Okay, that's fine. We can always fly up.
Oh, I will. I have transformed into Moon Sight, and I'm gonna burn my 8th level spell, to do Divine Truth, and I'm gonna try, to actually ask a question. I've typed it out. I don't know if this will work, but I'm just gonna do an offshoot and see. But this is
Okay.
So let's do
So
that.
which spell you're asking who? Oh, Divine Truth.
Um,
Okay.
yeah. And so this requires a high enough roll for this. So if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And so I need DC 18 now. I know.
Wait,
And so it fizzles.
All right. So you wait a moment, and you feel the rustling of the wind and the sound of
That's
the
22, but it's a
grass
nat
around you
one.
swaying back and forth around you, and then you hear a voice kind of reach out to you.
yeah.
Is it bad? Like I'm on this like this like that weird character who's like on the street trying to
Like, come on, 15 cents. I'll give you your heart. Come on.
All right. Okay. As you end the spell, the voice goes away. Elwin,
I just like shrug.
Elwin, you there?
Yeah.
Okay. While everyone's making their preparations, someone comes up to you. Elwin, do you have a moment?
What's up, girl?
She says. The council has decided that war, war is on the morrow. We begin soon. We've already seen that some of the demons along the edge, their outermost regiments have begun to reorient themselves, focusing focusing the bulk of their defenses in our general direction. She says they're aware of where we are, and we're afraid that if we waited too long, they will find a way to circumvent us, to flank us, to take us from behind, if you know what I mean.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
God.
She says, Elwin, do you do you ever become afraid before a battle?
Yes. It's it's normal to be afraid before a battle. It's what you do with that fear that makes you who you really are.
She
Take
says,
that, you son of a bitch.
she says, I've been in many battles before, but this one seems different. She says, I she looks at her hand. She says, my hands are trembling, Elwin. I'm frightened. I've never known a foe this grand before, and I've seen many foes.
What is it that scares you the most?
She says, I I'm not sure, but I can't help but think that after tomorrow, after the war, you and I will never see each other again.
Don't say that. Why do you think that?
I I have no reason, no premonition, no vision, no dream. I just I just feel it deep inside. I'm sorry, Elvin, and I didn't know.
We'll be okay. Do you want to? No, it's because you have to lead your forces. Um, if not, I would bring you with us to the front lines.
Just I cannot go with you. I must remain with my people.
But you know what? we're gonna spend tonight together, and tomorrow we'll do everything we can to win this battle.
She looks up at you and she says, "Tonight, like it was the last night in the world."
That sounds good.
And she leans in and gives you a very tender embrace.
I hug her too.
Okay. Anyone else doing anything before the nightfall?
You
Yeah.
see, Damos is um, taping with whatever tape he can get these pamphlets to like I'm passing out pamphlets and I'm like taping them to this grenade. I'm like going like I'm like
This would be so cool, guys. We can go to war. We can fight for like what's just, and yeah, things might not work out for everybody, but in the end, we'll take something with us. And we're gonna kill a fucking demon. That means like you're almost a god. I don't fucking know how that shit works. And, like, let me like Tempest, Mount Celestine, super cool. Check out the pamphlet. Trust me, become an angel.
So you're going to just going around to people's tents and
mhm.
stuff and just trying to. Okay.
Only to the really tough guys. Like I'm trying to find like the toughest mother truckers out there, and I'm like,
Guys, you have no idea. You can become angels, like buff angels that like fight with buff Tempest, and we can just like beat guys who don't even lift.
Um, roll a d20.
Ooh, I'm gonna get at least 3 people. I get 16. Not bad, Damos.
Okay. As you go to a tent and you're giving your spiel outside the tent, you're standing outside the tent and you're not sure who's inside. It's kind of late at night. You imagine most people are sleeping, but you're kind of obnoxiously still talking and proclaiming your message and handing out your pamphlets. Um, you hear a voice come from inside the tent. No one shows, or emerges from the tent. But you've been talking. You hear a voice say, "Hey, I've heard you talking for a while. I know your voice."
Oh, oh,
Man,
oh.
trust me, don't exit the tent.
He says, "No, no,
Don't
no,
do it.
no, 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 Deimos. You and
Oh,
I have a lot of history together. Believe me, a lot of
my
lot of sordid history. You've a lot of history.
good,
Much of it
my
I'd rather forget. But
my favorite piece of article of accessory clothing. Would you come with us to battle?
but he says, I must admit, thrills, all those adventures and mild borderline sexual harassment contacts you've made with my body.
Borderline.
He
Yeah,
says,
we'll go with that.
I
We'll go
must
with that borderline.
must admit that your faith has never been shaken, and I find that impressive."
Too cool. You're working for Tempest now, right?
He says, "Color me intrigued."
Okay, so it's 100% for sure. Here's the documentation signed right here. And also, you're coming with us on a cool excursion tomorrow.
Demos, and he pops his
I
head out.
pick,
He
I
says,
pick him up.
he pops his head out. Demos, hold it right there. You
I
and
grab
I,
his head.
you and I are
Yeah,
never ever coming
Uh-huh.
anywhere together.
Never. You're right. We're not doing that.
And I'm
Never.
gonna cover his mouth.
Get
and
it
pull
out of
his
your head. Get it
and
out
just
of your
grab
head.
him and
We
pull
are
him
not
with me.
coming
'cause
together.
I'm
Never.
so happy.
Not once.
I'm like, you can't talk because I'm covering your mouth. It's part of the game.
And I'm carrying it from my like over to us. Like we're gonna all beat up tomorrow. I'm like super excited that I got my I got him back.
Right, we're gonna get a demon queen.
Okay. All right. Anyone else doing anything?
I would contact the leaders via the sending stone to send some of their better, either their singers or their orators, like anybody who can carry a tune of some sort and is familiar with the songs of their people.
Okay. So
And
there are, along with any war camp, any large army, there of course are a number of quite a contingent, quite a population of not stragglers, but people who follow along with the war camp. Along with them, a number of musicians and bards, just to just trying to ply their trade, seek entertainment, or get provide entertainment for the soldiers, that kind of stuff.
if they can
Lots of
send
horrors
some
too. There's a lot of
over.
horrors around.
I would like to do something. I don't have a spell per se, but I wanted to do a combination thingy, which is I wanted to actually give them allow them to channel the spell, and also this one over here. So this one is one of my ritual spells that I never really use, but it's this, and so the idea of that enhance their oration and also allow them to comfort people through it. And I give them a bit of a pep talk, like tomorrow this will be like the end of times, we do not know what will happen, but like spread the stories and songs of your people, and get them ready. And the idea of that, the comfort spell is to help them, buoy up the spirits of the people going to war tomorrow.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead and roll a wisdom check.
Wisdom check. Alrighty. There you go.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Oh wait. Oh no. Yeah, I'm not a wild shape. Never mind. Yeah, go ahead.
so as you do this, you're able to influence quite a few of these traveling troubadours and bards, and you see them acknowledging what you've done, and they break off in different directions, traveling through the various encampments, singing folk songs according to the appropriate people. The humans go back and they apply their tunes. The some of the favorites, um, the bard and the lily is a popular tune that you can even hear some of the soldiers singing along to. Often the dwarven encampment, their tunes are they're a lot of them are honestly they're drinking songs, and you hear they're being rowdy and stuff, but hint traces of thematic through the lyrics of their tunes are callbacks to honor, callbacks to the nobility of the dwarven people, and you find the dwarves in the midst of all the raucousness and their drinking and their consumption of ale, that they're a very noble people down to their core. So you see the bards begin to make their way, spreading out from around where you um, you cast the spell, and they go off into the night, and music, the sound of various songs all throughout the camp begin to lift, and all spread out. It's a pretty widespread area, but you hear songs picking up all the way all around, you know, even miles away. So, okay,
I would like to do some
Adis,
stuff.
what are you doing before the final night?
First, I'm going to cast contingency on myself.
Okay.
The condition is if 18 seconds pass after I cast the scrying spell, or I sense in any way that the scrying spell is being observed, to cast the spell Modify Memory.
Okay.
And then I'm going to cast scrying
On yourself.
On my carpet.
Okay.
And yeah, it will cast Modify Memory on me.
All right. Intelligence check.
See here, where is it? There it is.
Okay. Um, you're able to get a general direction and a general vague location, but as you reach out with your scry spell, you begin to instantly feel the interference of the barrier that's emanating from the barrier. It's not so much as like static or anything like that. It's almost like a weight, as you feel yourself, your mind's eye floating above the surface of the terrain, heading in the direction of the demon camp. It's like gravity is
It's like
pulling
turning into
down.
air resistance.
Yeah, yeah, on your
Yeah.
astrally projected form, and you find yourself becoming sluggish and drifting back down towards the earth until eventually you make contact with the earth and can't travel forward anymore.
Okay. But I do get a vague location, which I could infer that it's not inside the dome.
Yes.
Okay. Is it in? Can I get enough of a general direction to infer that it may still be roughly where I last saw
Um,
it?
the vagueness, it's really vague in the direction of the sphere, but it's enough to confirm to you that um, the spot where you last saw it is within the area of the feeling you get.
Okay, cool.
But it's a pretty wide shotgun blast. You know, it's like a
That
widespread. So
that's totally fine. Do I sense at all that it's been detected or anything?
you're scrying.
Yeah.
You do not get that sense.
Okay, then it would roll. Then it would cast modify memory, which would cancel the scrying, and then I'll just drop the modify.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the contingency was in case it got detected that it would cast modify memory on myself, which would be another concentration cell, which would end the scrying.
Yeah.
That was that. Okay, cool. And
All right.
that's I think all I wanted to do.
If I will check with Sigma 3 if she has a gem encrusted bowl worth at least 1,000 gold. So we may have a hero's feast for breakfast.
Okay. So you head off in that direction. You head out to Sigma 3's tent, and um, someone opens the. As you say, you go to the tent and you say, "Hello, anyone in there?" Someone pops their head out of Sigma 3's tent. He says, "Hello. Oh, hi.
Hi.
Hi. I forget your name, but
Hey.
yeah, well, Renly, whatever that was. Looking for someone?
Yeah, Sigma 3. I need a gem encrusted bowl.
Oh, Eloise, she's not here. Yeah, she's not here right now. Mentioned that she had to go talk to someone, and that's last I heard. So I'm just hanging out here, kind of by myself.
Have you seen any good bowls lately?
Oh yeah, she's got lots
That
of
look
bowls.
expensive. That look very expensive and gem covered.
Sure, I mean, I'm sure she wouldn't mind. You want to come look?
Sure.
Okay.
And I'll also lift up a sending stone and page reap and be like, anybody have a gem encrusted bowl that's worth 1,000 gold? I need to make a quick feast so we don't die immediately.
Um,
Minus.
searching through Eloise's tent, you're able to come across a bowl that you figure would be um, definitely within the ballpark of what you're looking for.
I ask her to ask if anybody has a dagger with gem encrusted dagger of equal size.
Okay, I pass that along.
Yeah, yeah. Searching through Eloise's her dorm her dwelling place, you do come across both those things.
And I do also pass along thanks, and I do mention first 7 people to get to my tent, or get to enjoy a hero's feast. Hurry up, people! And I will head back and start casting my hero's feast. So
You
seven
see a
people
damn
plus
army
us,
there.
and
Okay.
Uh, Midas, can
So
you
you're
steer
doing this
the
evening or tomorrow morning?
in the morning, so that it works for the day.
Okay. All right. So she says, "Oh," and the brunette says, "Oh, that sounds great. I love breakfast." And then she turns around and she goes back into her tent. She's like, "See you tomorrow," and she walks away. Okay.
Can you share the homunculus stat block, please?
Homunculus.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
I can't remember what it does.
Okay. Anyone else doing anything before the night is over?
What's the general mood in Nostrala right now?
It
I mean, I
was
know we've
one.
done
It
things
was
to
one of.
help it.
Yeah, it was one of tense uneasiness before, but now you hear song more than anything else. There's a little bit of levity in the air. It's almost as if a lot of the soldiers have decided to just throw throw all caution to the wind, and they say if it's gonna be their last night, they're gonna enjoy it with friends and with the people, with
And
their brothers
raise
in arms. So,
Tempest, yeah.
Damus, you picked up Vork. Did you bring him with
Yeah.
you, or what?
Yeah, I got Vork with me. I'm like so
Right.
happy I have
So
Vork
he
right
didn't
now.
he didn't want you to carry him anymore. He can walk now. So he's like slapping at your head. Get off me! Get off me! You
Hey,
homo!
Vork,
You
Vork.
homo!
What?
I'm not coming
Vork,
with you. I'm not coming with you
You're
ever.
my big,
If any
you're my
fucking
trusted
thing,
backup.
listen to me.
Like,
Listen,
Vork,
Damos.
it's
Listen,
more.
fucking listen to me.
Not completely.
Listen
Yeah,
to the deal.
sorry, listen.
If anything,
Hey.
I come 1st.
Mhm.
You come second.
Yes.
I come first. You come second. You get that in your head.
Wait. What the fuck are you talking about? We're
Slaps you
gonna
in the
go
face.
fight
Let me
people.
go. Let me go. Let me go. And he's like
Oh,
smacking you
I
in the
put
head.
him down, and
I'm like, fuck. I'm very confused. We're gonna go to Winley's tent. She's got always has food. We're gonna raid her fridge and get really drunk, and just raid her fridge pretty much, and just make her make us breakfast in the morning, and then we're gonna go fight a god.
That sounds good. I'm not coming
Fuck
with you though.
yes, Why?
Let's go eat.
Fuck. Fuck.
Oh my
Wait,
god.
wait. You're not coming to the fight?
No, I'm not coming with you. But I
What
will
is that?
go eat with you and fight with you.
Yeah. I'm so confused. Oh shit. No.
Do you not
Fuck.
understand the words coming
Fuck.
out of my mouth?
Fuck. I'm not Adis. I'm not gonna sexually harass you anymore.
Yeah, right.
I'm not a woman. It's totally cool now.
Uh-huh. I
Mhm.
know how you think.
I-
I've seen inside that twisted mind of yours.
I-
I
no,
know.
you can't.
I know.
You would die.
Through the depths of hell, I know.
No, of course. Oh wait, did you come to hell with us?
Yeah, he carried him all through hell.
It's
When you was a
super cool,
woman
man.
with them bouncing titties
Uh-huh.
and all your
Was
hoes
it
got
really
plugged up,
bouncing?
I was
Mhm.
there. I saw it all.
Oh, dude, that was a great way to learn how to fly.
Yup.
Shit everywhere though. Terrible cleanup.
Yup. I saw it
Okay.
all. Believe me,
Alright,
Volk
let's do this.
was the victim in all of this. Volk was.
Look, no, you're not. We saved your life.
You or Volk, a great meal and a lot of beer.
Oh, of course. Yep. All right.
I will have large quantities of beer and food.
Okay.
I'm like, I literally just buy us a cow or something. What it is that people are cooking.
All right.
We get your division's food.
So you and Vork spend drink late into the night, swapping stories of, great deeds you guys have done and trouble you've gotten into over the years and that kind of stuff.
I got one more thing. I
And
wanna
while
do.
that's happening, I'm slapping more of these my leftover pamphlets for the day on this grenade. It's gonna be a cool grenade.
Okay. Okay.
I'm gonna spend an hour create a homunculus, and then I'm going to leave it in Telephos's care.
Okay. All right.
If for some reason something happens to our communications tones, we have a backup.
Okay. It can magically convey what it senses to its master, and so you can communicate telepathically. All right, got it. Make sure you remember that you have it with Telephos. All right. So the evening wears on, and then after a night of kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Cathartic revelry for you and the rest of the troops. You all venture off to sleep. Okay.
Yep.
All right. All of you roll a d20. Oh
God,
man.
Deimos!
Okay.
Deimos!
All right. So here's the tiebreaker. It was a low high thing. This is the tiebreaker. The 20 cancels out the 1. The 11 and the 5 are both low and high. So low or high. Okay.
Does the foresight help on Deimos? Like, can he roll another?
Mm-hmm.
It's 8 hours,
Should.
right? It's 8 hours.
Yeah.
No, it's 8 hours. It's gone.
No.
Okay. All right. So of course, with the low roll, um, deep into the night, early into the morning, um, the horns begin to blow. The the alarms begin to ring. You hear shouts begin to arise all around the encampment, and along with the shouts comes an eerie, screeching howl. Not the sound of any one creature that you've encountered in the past, but the sound of thousands upon thousands of demons, bat-like, fiend-like creatures of tentacles and slime, creatures of wing and leather, creatures of steel, plate, and iron claw, creatures with murder and death in their eyes, creature with blood, a thirst for blood, dripping from their their extended and frothing from their extended tongues. The war has come to you.
Okay, yeah. One roll. What are you talking about? That was. I thought it was golf. Lowest score one. You guys gotta tell me the game beforehand. This makes no sense to me.
The war has come to you. All right. Let's see. So bursting through let's see. So Elwin, you're in your bed, holding Eloise in your arms when you first hear the reaction, the sirens and the trumpets blaring. You look, judging by the amount of ambient light coming through the flaps of your tent. It's before dawn. It's perhaps like about a half hour before dawn. Eloise wakens, her eyes wide, and she says, "Oh no, not enough time, Elwin. I wish we had longer. But it seems fate has decided for us. Come." And it is time to go. And she launches herself from the bed, and she runs over to the place where her armor and her axes are, quickly beginning to strap them on. Okay. Unfortunately, my OBS stopped recording for some reason towards the end of that session, so I'm just going to do a quick recap for you guys to catch the end of that session before I close down for the night. The party awakened in the middle of the night to see that the demons had begun to attack. They had taken the initiative, and they saw that it was a great cloud of demons. And I kind of drew it like this. It's hard to give you context here, but these streams of dark and through the sky were flying demons heading in their direction. On the horizon was a large mass, a horde of demons coming towards their encampment, and these large things were creatures also standing above in size of the rest of the army, and these things were their tents, so he's giving them perspective. The dragons instantly headed off towards the front lines as they clashed with the edge of the human camp. Krigajard and the other 6 left. Biffin stayed behind. And what followed were, as the party quickly organized to enact their their plan, the majority of all the remaining troops, the dwarves, with their their advanced machinery, their crossbows and their siege weaponry, headed off with Eloise at the front. Um, Darius Darius Brightlord came by to say a quick Godspeed and farewell to the party. He gave a touching speech about how not since the time of his father's demise had such a war been seen, and this was the final war, the war to end all wars, humanity's last gasp against the armies of darkness. And he said it was an honor to fight alongside such heroes, just as his father did. And in that moment, Deimos saw the maturity in this young man, a man that he knew as a young child, had seen grow up, and he could see his father, um, who would have been Caleb Brightlord, Deimos's dear friend. Um, he could see his father shining through his the sun, and he put a death wish, not death wish, a death ward spell on Darius and bid him well. And Darius rode off to the front lines in an emotional departure, um, to go to lead his army into battle. The last remaining forces of humanity, all of Ospium and all of Westfane, gathered together to strike the demon horde. He said that, God's willing, they would meet at the dark sphere, the barrier. Um, he said that the high elves had been mobilized, and with their sky armada, the dragonborn and the the Goliaths, with their sneak attack from the southwest, had been mobilized, and now the dwarves and the humans, would were not just going to attack to defend this attack, but they resolved to push forward and to drive the demons back towards the place where they came from. So Darius Brightlord went off with his army. Coming along to Renly cast her feast spell and fed the people who were going with them. It was I think a group of 10. It was the 4 adventurers along with Kildrak and Euphemia, and Terry's Saber, Biffin, or as he's better known, Biffinzor, and Robin, and Vork. So that's 10 people in all, gathered in a circle as Ava and Telephos came along with their most powerful mages. And they joined, the mages joined their hands in a circle around the group that was going to go infiltrate the barrier, and began the casting of a very advanced, very powerful, concentrated teleportation spell. And it took all of Telephos's might to send the party to a specific spot near the dark sphere. It was a great outpouring of energy, but the party rolled really well, and they were delivered there with almost pinpoint accuracy. They were not able to land on the orb itself, but landed very close to the base of it. In the moments that they left, I had them all roll a perception check, and they all saw a glimpse of something. Because Telephos, in that moment where he poured out such a huge amount of energy to navigate the distorted weave close to the dark sphere, in that moment, all his defenses, all his contingencies, and all his even awareness was dropped as he surged forth that energy. And in that exact moment, the party saw this individual appear in the shadow outside the circle of mages. This is Revan the Immortal, the right hand of Malkanthet, first among her overseers. He carries a stigma of fear and deference amongst all the demon hordes. This is an individual of great power. This individual, in that split second, appeared, walking out of the shadows behind Ava, and the last thing that the party saw was him thrusting his blade through her chest from behind, shattering the necklace around her neck, the necklace that Telephos had bestowed on her um, on their wedding day. And a cry of pain leaving Ava's throat, and the life leaving her eyes. As that's the last thing the party saw as Ava was teleported away, as they were teleported away. The party was understandably angry. They made a bunch of jokes about me, how I should write for Game of Thrones, and I promised them more plot twists and terror next week when we got together again. Okay, that's it. I'm sorry for the recap. I don't know why OBS decided to stop working, but I hope it will be fixed for next week. Thanks, guys. See you later.